You ever stare at the sky and suddenly boom, there's a little squiggly noodle floating around in your vision. You try to look at it, but it slips away like it knows your next move. You blink and it's still there. You move your eyes and it moves too. Congratulations, your eyeballs are haunted. Some scientists call them floaters. Yes, floaters. Or if you're a fancy nerd, you can call it myodepsoshia. But here's the weird part. They're not on your screen, and they're not on your eyeballs either. They're inside of it, drifting through the clear jelly that fills your eye like a weird little snow globe. So what are they exactly? Tiny worms? Microbes just vibing in your vision like they pay rent? And how are they somehow invisible until you look at a blank wall or the sky? Let's find out what these mysterious little sky noodles actually are. And more importantly, why your brain decided not to tell you about them until now. Alright, so first things first. Your eyeball isn't empty. It's filled with a clear, gel-like substance called the vitreous humor. Think of it like nature's lava lamp fluid. It keeps your eyeball round and supports the fragile stuff inside it. But here's the issue. When you're born, this jelly is perfectly smooth and things look crystal clear in 4K. But as you get older, it starts to clump up. Little bits of collagen, those are tiny protein fibers, they begin to stick together and form microscopic blobs. These are the floaters. They just drift around like background NPCs. They're not alive and they're not sentient. Your brain just thinks they are because they move around every time your eye moves. So if they're inside your eyeball, why do you see them floating in front of you? It's because they're casting shadows on your retina. Your retina is the light-sensitive layer at the back of your eye. It's like a moving screen made of living tissue. When light enters your eye, the floaters block tiny bits of that light, projecting faint, moving shadows onto the retina. Imagine a mosquito trapped inside a projector beam. Every time it moves, the shadow dances across the screen. Except in this case, your eyes are the screen. Now here's the strange part. If these things are always in your eyes, why don't you see them all the time? It's because your brain is constantly photoshopping them out. Your visual system is built to notice movement and sudden change, not static noise. Anything that stays still in the same place for too long just fades away. It's the same reason you forget your nose exists. But when you look at something bright and simple, like the sky or a blank wall, the light hitting your retina is perfectly even. That makes any tiny shadow, like the one that's cast by a floater, suddenly stand out. There's no texture or detail for your brain to hide it behind, so floaters aren't suddenly appearing. It's just that for once, your brain forgot to pretend they weren't there. So you've seen the slow drifting blobs, but if you stare at a bright blue sky, you might notice tiny white dots zipping around really fast. Those aren't dust, and they're not the same floaters we've been talking about. This is called the blue field entoptic phenomenon. And what you're actually seeing are your own blood cells moving through the tiny capillaries in the front of your retina. When you look at blue light, like the color of the sky, red blood cells absorb more of that light, while white blood cells let more of it pass through. That small difference makes the white cells appear as tiny bright dots moving along curved paths, which are the microscopic blood vessels in your eye. You're literally watching the blood flow inside your own eyes. So the next time you catch those tiny noodles drifting across your vision, don't freak out. You're just seeing your own biology in action. Those faint shapes and flickering dots are little reminders that your eyes aren't cameras. They're living, breathing lenses that your brain edits on the fly. And every once in a while, it forgets to hit delete. So you get to see the raw footage for yourself. Kind of poetic, honestly, seeing the inside of your own perception even for a second. But hey, it's not all fun and games. If you start seeing a whole swarm of floaters, flashes of light, or a curtain-like shadow creeping over your vision, that's your cue to go see an eye doctor. Seriously. If you don't want that to happen to you, then hit like and subscribe so your vision and your feed stay clear. And tell me down below, what should I explain next?